Hello once again, and welcome to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast with Jay Kirkwood of Secure Financial Management. Online, you can find us at clearskiesretirement.com. Okay, so as I drive through my subdivision, there is always at least 3 garage doors that are open, and I look in there and I say, there is no way you can get a car in that garage. There's just too much junk. And I found this survey that says 1/3 of Americans can't get their car in the garage, and 2/3 of people say it's the junkiest room in the house. So that is, having too much junk is a problem, and we all got to do a little spring cleaning now and then. But let me ask this. As people come to you, do you find people that have too much junk in their financial life? Maybe they have 50 stocks or 100 stocks or something like that, and you've got to sift through all that. What's the danger of having too much junk?
Well, the danger of having too much junk is you can't park your car in the garage, like you mentioned. And so that hailstorm comes through, right, and it wipes it out. I read the article you're talking about, right? So I think it said 1/3 of people. It's more than 1/3. If I look around my neighborhood, it's more than 1/3.
Okay,
right?
all right.
And then I've got some houses where like the driveway's filled up, so now the cars are out on the street. And so I hear you loud and clear on that. But great analogy on that, right, is do we see this in the financial side as well? And this is, we do. I had a guy a few weeks ago who had an account somewhere, and he was thinking about changing advisors. He's like, can you take a look at my statements, kind of see how the performance has been, take a look at, am I invested the right way? And this statement is like pages and pages and pages long. And he had something like 88 positions in that account.
God, how do you keep track of that?
And it was about a $500,000 account.
Wow.
Exactly right. If you're talking about Warren Buffett and you got a few $1 billion and you go, all right, man, I get it, right? 500 grand, you don't need 88 positions. And I said to him, I was like, how did this happen? Like, what's going on here? He's like, I really don't know. Just, this advisor's been handling it and he's done what he's done. And I said, well, we'll take a look at it. But I said, this is the first thing I'll tell you. If you work with us and we invest you and we build you in a portfolio, there is going to be a story and a reason around why every single position is going to be held. Okay? And we're going to be monitoring them. And when it's time to change, we're going to remove that position and we're going to put something else in there. Okay? I said, I will look at this for you, but I can tell you something without even looking at it. There is no way in the world whoever is watching this account for you right now is able to keep track of 88 different positions. There's just no way. Right? And it's not a knock on who that advisor is. Nobody could do that, right? No individual could keep track of 88 positions. And if you can't keep track of them, then you can't have a reason and a story for why that is occupying a place in your portfolio. The way we look at it is with that guy, with that 500,000, we're the gatekeepers of who gets access to his money. And who's going to give us the best deal and the best performance for the risk that we're going to do it. And they have to tell a story as to why they deserve the right to be in this portfolio. The way he had it now, it was like, you want to get in? Here you go. Come in the portfolio. You can have a space. So, I would imagine that guy or his old advisor probably parks their car in the driveway.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, even inside something simple like a 401k, if you choose an index fund and a balanced fund and this fund, what's working right now? NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Meta. All of these things are probably going to be in all of those holdings. And if those go down, you go down, and you'll go down significantly. So we call that in the biz overlapping. You've got too much of the same stuff. It could be too much of the same stock. It could be too much of the same sector. And with 80-some holdings, I got to believe there's a lot of overlapping there.
Yeah, there's a lot of concentration risk is what we're talking about with that. And this guy had individual positions, individual equities, individual stock, like you said. He had mutual funds. He had ETFs. And we ran it through a program we have here. And you think on the surface, right? I've got 88 positions. Like, I've got to be so diversified, it's not funny. Well, half of his portfolio was in 2 or 3 different stocks. by the time you drill down to what's being held in these different positions, and this is what gets even better. He had a lot of those the things you mentioned: Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, the big ones, and like they've been doing well lately. So that's good. I mean, the problem comes when they don't do so well. So not only did he have a lot of exposure inside of these funds that he wasn't aware of, he also held those stocks individually on top of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you think about back in 2000 when we had a tech wreck, we had a tech bubble burst, a lot of the market right now is being held up by tech. And if we have another tech bubble, this guy gets hurt really, really bad. He thinks he's diversified because he has 80 holdings. He's not diversified at all. He's exactly the opposite of being diversified.
You're exactly spot on there. Is the problem for most people is you look at, I think it was 88 holdings. You're just like, how could I be more diversified? Then the market goes down 20 or 30%, and you're down even more because those big high flyers are the ones that are going to come down even more, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on here? I was super diversified. Not really. Not really.
Well, this is something that you can discover. We talk about getting you into the Get Me to Retirement 5-step process. When you do the analysis, this is the kind of stuff that comes out, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We call it, it's like going to your financial doctor. You go to your doctor and there might be stuff you talk to your doctor about that you don't talk to your spouse about. You don't talk to your kids about. You don't talk to your friends about, right? Well, it's really the same here, just it's financially, right? I don't know what most people are like now, but I remember when my parents, when we were growing up, no one talked about their income, right? You didn't share that. I don't talk about it. How much money do you have saved? Well, I know that. I'm not going to tell other people about that, right?
Sure.
How much debt do I have? Ooh, I definitely don't want to tell people that, right? I'm definitely not going to tell people that. What sort of extravagant things might you want to be doing in retirement that you don't really want people to think you're too extravagant about? We're going to talk about all that, right? We're going to drill down all that. And it's a place you can come where you've got the security of knowing you go in that room, we talk about it, we get the data we need, we provide you a plan, and that information never leaves the room.
Yeah, I think that all of us want to know the answer to one question, and one question only is, am I going to be okay?
Absolutely.
I know that there are a lot of lists out there that said these are the big concerns of retirees. Did I save enough money? Did I do enough? All these different things. But what you really want to know is, am I going to be okay? Can I go out there? Can I pay my bills? Can I have some fun? Can I do the things that I've always wanted to do in retirement? Is the money going to be there? And there's only one really way to do that, and that is to do the analysis, do the math on your retirement, and that's what our 5-step process is we'll do that for you at no charge. We'll sit down and do that analysis, and you'll get a really good look at where you are. And I always say, if you can do this a couple of years before retirement, where if we find a couple of holes, let's fill those holes before we get there. Exactly. Check us out online at clearskiesretirement.com. That's clearskiesretirement.com. And if you enjoyed this podcast and you want to hear more, hit that follow or subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. Again, thanks for listening to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Investment advisory services offered through investment advisory representatives at Secure Financial Management, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed are not designed nor intended to be applicable to any person's individual circumstances. It should not be considered as investment advice, nor does it constitute a recommendation that anyone engage in or refrain from a particular course of action. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Secure Financial Management is licensed in your state, please contact their office. Secure Financial Management is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Wholesalers Insurance. Jamin J. Kirkwood, Texas Insurance License number 1421850.